Thank you for watching. I am Jason, the bearded EV guy, and I wanted to talk about a really cool car company called Aptera. I'm not sure if you've heard of them. These guys have actually been around for a while. They started in the early 2000s, and at that time they were going to make the most efficient production car ever made. The car was designed from the ground up. The core feature of it is how aerodynamic it is. They spent a long time studying how air flows over an object in driving conditions, and they optimized the design for that. So this car looks nothing like you've ever seen on the road before. It's a three-wheeled car, but it's not like a typical three-wheeled motorcycle or anything like that. It's a legit car. It is a two-seater, and its shape is very futuristic. It looks very pod-like. It starts off almost egg-shaped and then it tapers off into a flat wing of sorts. The body rests on the back wheel and then the two front wheels come off on struts off the front. Really cool design. And I was excited about them way back in the day, but like so many other startup car companies, they ended up going bankrupt. They just couldn't get it off the ground, which is sad. But it happens. There's countless examples of car companies that have done that, so no shame on them. It is a hard industry to get into, but in recent years, the original people who headed up Aptera, they are back and back with a vengeance. They have updated it. So let me break down some of the core features of this car that are really exciting. So first of all is range. The base Aptera has a targeted range of 250 miles, which is totally acceptable. That's Tesla Model 3 territory. Most newbies in market have at least that much or right around that. The Chevy Bolt, which has been pretty successful for GM up until this recent recall, has less than that. I believe is around 219 miles. So perfectly acceptable. You can go a long time without charging. I mean, the car I drive has an electric range of about 100 to 140 miles, depending on the weather and everything. I haven't had to take it to a public charger, except for a couple of times on road trips. For day-to-day driving 100 miles is fine for the majority of people. 250 is already a bit overkill, but it gets even better. That's the base. You can spec this thing up all the way to 1,000 miles of range, which will by far exceed anything else on the market. The Tesla Model S and the Lucid Air have been battling back and forth. I believe the Lucid Air is targeting 500 or 600 miles of range at the top spec. So for that kind of range, currently that's well into the six figures. The base Aptera is going to cost in the mid $20,000 S, and I believe that top tier is still below $50,000. So that's just insane. If range is king in your world, nothing's going to come close to this for a long time. The other cool thing is it's getting that range on a 100 kilowatt battery pack, which is the same amount of kilowatts as a Tesla Model S, so the same capacity battery is going over 2.5 to 3 times as far. The second really cool thing is solar panels. That's not done on any other production car. So standard, they have solar panels on their roof. You can add solar panels to the back window and then the hood. Also, if you have it completely spec'd out with solar panels, this isn't an expensive upgrade, $900 for the extra sets of solar panels. But again, some come standard. With all of them, you gain a max of 46 miles of range a day, which doesn't sound like a lot. But for many, that is plenty. My typical commute is about 20 miles, so with 40 or so miles added a day for free, I would be able to go to and from work every day. Plus, if this was my commuter car and it ended up sitting over the weekend, I doubt I would ever have to plug this thing in. That would be awesome. Never spend a cent on electricity, and be totally fine. Even if it wasn't quite suitable, it would allow me to go a lot longer without having to plug it in. So this thing has got great looks, it's got the range, it has solar panels. The one drawback to this thing right now is they are debuting it as a two-seater. That said though, it is a very capable two-seater. So you have the two seats and then a huge trunk space because it tapers off into this flat shape. And that trunk is massive. They are adding as an add-on a really cool camping mode. So it's a pop-up tent that attaches to the Aptera and you can use the trunk as a bed. So it's probably the most capable two-seater on the market. I think this would be ideal for single people or couples, or if this is your secondary vehicle. If you have a bigger car, let's say a Model Y for the family and you need a commuter car, this would be such a good use case for the Aptera. They have other add-ons that are interesting as well. They're going to have an off-road mode, which I'm curious about, but they don't have a lot of information on that. I would love to see how well this actually works in off-road conditions. They also have a pet mode, so you can safely transport your pet in the back. Again, it's starting, I believe, under $25,000. I am not 100% sure how the tax credit situation is going to work. 1, that's a little bit in flux in America right now. And 2, I think it might depend slightly on if the government considers this a motorcycle or car. Typically, three-wheeled vehicles are considered motorcycles. But either way, $25,000 is a great price. And if you can get another $7,500 off essentially with a tax credit, that would be insane. So definitely check it out. If you're at all interested, they are open for pre-orders and I would love it if you used my link. They have a thing going with their referral program where if a certain number of people use my link, I could win a free Aptera. But either way, I would highly encourage you check out this car. I think is a great option for a lot of people. It is either debuting at the end of this year or the beginning of next year. They are currently in their beta program and they are posting regular updates on their social media accounts and on YouTube about what's going on. They're making a lot of quick progress. Some of the changes I've seen them make already is they have heightened the car and they've lowered the seat. Also, they have added a lot of stability. They're testing this out on racetracks and pushing it to its limit, and then making changes. And there's been a whole host of other things. Like I said, they're posting regular updates on their social media sites and YouTube, so check that out if you're at all interested in the engineering behind it. Again, if you want to sign up, it's normally $100 to sign up for their pre-order, but you can get $30 off if you sign up through thebeardedevguy.com/Aptera. Thank you for watching. Feel free to subscribe. Here I talk about any EV news that I find interesting that I would like to share, and definitely want us to keep seeing the world go to a cleaner, more sustainable, more efficient, and more fun future, and I think that could be accomplished at least in part through the mass adoption of electric cars. Please do the likes, subscribes, all that fun stuff, and I'll catch you in the next video. Thanks so much.